Hi, I'm Hazel, and this is your guide to the Ruinhoof pet battle on Argus. I'm going to start with a super quick strategy to just beat him and get your world quest done. Then, I'll show you strategies for every single pet family for progress on the Family Fighter achievement. Ruinhoof lives here in Krokuun. If you have not finished your Mana Buns Demon Killing achievement yet, he's like a little angry preview of the mount that you're going for. First up, the fastest strategy for when you just want to get your world quest done. This also doubles as the flying strat. Grab your Icky with Black Claw and Flock, and then another bird with Flock, or in my case, Falcosaur Swarm. The third pet does not matter, but do remember to make it flying. Starting with Icky, we'll go Black Claw, then Flock, and that almost does it. When Icky goes down, the boss still has Black Claw and Shattered up on him, so one round of Falcosaur Swarm finishes him off. Next, we'll do a Kwatak. I've got two high attack breed crabs with Rip and Blood in the Water, but you could just as easily use baby crocs. In the third slot is a sea calf with Surge, Bubble, and Blood in the Water. Starting with a crab, lay down the Rip and then hit him with a Blood in the Water. At this point, you can just keep mashing Rip until crab 1 dies. Since Rip is already ticking, we can go right for Blood in the Water on the second crab. Then you can Rip approximately once before that one's done too. Finally, it's sea calf to the rescue. Start with Bubble, then use Blood in the Water, and then spam Surge. Next up is Critters. To keep it simple, I've got 3 snails set up with Ooze Touch, Acidic Goo, and Dive. Start with Acidic Goo, and then Ooze Touch once, and then Dive. Because we're much slower, the Dive won't avoid his hoof, but it will get you out of the way of the chew. Refresh Acidic Goo, and in comes the second snail. Ooze Touch, then Dive, then Acidic Goo. Our final snail has the very easy job of Ooze Touching just the once, and then we're good. Next, we have Elemental. I'm using my shiny new Zephyrian Prince as well as a tiny twister with Call Lightning and Slicing Wind. Grab Bash on the twister while you're at it. Third, I brought a Ruby Droplet with Acid Touch, Bubble, and Drain Blood. Starting with the Prince, use Call Lightning and then occupy yourself by mashing your Slicing Wind button. Slicing Wind is a bit subject to RNG, but even average luck will do just fine. I get really lucky to survive this long, but you can lose the Prince a few turns before this and be okay. After the Prince goes down, bring in the Twister. Use Call Lightning, then Bash, then go back to Slicing Wind. Stunning him won't stop an existing Chew from hitting you, but that's alright. On the Ruby Droplet, use Bubble, and then Acidic Touch. Drain Blood is a huge heal if you need it, but it looks like we're good. Next, we've got Mechanicals. I'm using my trusty Darkmoon Zeppelin with Missile, Explode, and Decoy, my Pocket Cannon with a Cannon Shot and Explode, and I grabbed the Mini Zep with Decoy too. You've got endless options here. Choose pets with Decoy and Mechanical damage. Explode is nice in slots 1 and 2, and an Ion Cannon in the third pet slot wouldn't hurt either. Starting with my Zeppelin, we'll lay down a nice decoy and then start hitting him with missiles. You should be able to do at least 4 of those, if not more. Once you're near the brink of death, make sure that you explode for an extra 600 damage. I might have popped it a little bit early, but we're good. To finish things off with a literal bang, I'll swing in my Pocket Cannon and go right for Explode. I love doing that. Next on the list, we have Humanoid. I'm using my Anubisath Idol with Demolish for once in his life and Deflection. Slot 2, I've grabbed Squirky with Fish Slap, Stampede, and Bubble, and third is the Flare Youngling with Deflection and Rampage. How many of these pets we wind up needing is largely dependent on how good your Demolish luck is. Starting with the Idol, use Demolish twice, and then go for a Deflection. Deflection is awesome for this because it's got a short cooldown and it gets you out of the way of both Hoof and Chew. After that, keep on demolishing with crossed fingers and you can use Deflection on cooldown. I have some pretty average luck here and my Idol solos the whole thing, so it's okay if you miss some demolishes. Next is Beast, and we're using the tried and true Zandalari Raptors with Black Claw and Hunting Party. This goes much as expected. Use Black Claw and then Hunting Party. Ruinhoof does take down my first little buddy right before he dies, but one more Hunting Party for my next Raptor sorts it out. Next is Dragon, and once again we've got a familiar lineup. I'm using my Nexus and Stormborn Whelplings with Mana Surge and Arcane Storm, and then a Chrominius with Surge of Power just for good measure. Start with Arcane Storm, then just use Mana Surge until both of your whelps are done for the day. At this point, we're almost at the finish line, so Surge of Power is just a delightful piece of overkill. Next, we'll do Magic. I'm bringing my Empowered Mana Fiend with Arcane Blast, Surge of Power, and Arcane Storm, a mini Mind Slayer with Eye Blast and Amp Magic, and then an Enchanted Broom with Batter. Starting with my Mana Fiend, I'll use Arcane Storm, and then use Arcane Blast twice before going in with the Surge of Power. That takes us more than halfway there. I'll bring in the Mind Slayer, throw up an Amp Magic, and then use Eye Blast. At this point, I'll actually swap to my broom and then start spamming Batter. About 3 of those and he's done for. Last, we have Undead. I've got my standard issue Unborn Valkyr with Shadow Slash, Curse of Doom and Unholy Ascension, a Son of Seath with Plagued Blood, Touch of the Animus and Liftoff, and then a Blight Breath with Slime, Toxic Smoke, and Bash. Starting with the Valkyr, use Curse of Doom, then you can Shadow Slash all of twice before it's time to use Unholy Ascension on your immunity round. On Son of Seath, start with Liftoff to avoid that chew, and then use Touch of Animus. He gets just obliterated, but there's still time to put up Plagued Blood. By the time we're done with that, it's almost over, so one good Toxic Smoke should do the trick. So that's Family Fighter Ruinhoof. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe for the rest of the Family Fighter guides and other super cool WoW videos. Let me know what you think, share your own strategies in the comments if you like, and have a wonderful, wonderful day.